I'd like to bring up Matt Crispino, our Director of Swimming. And Matt is coming fresh off of a double championship, double Coach of the Year, men's and women's swimming. Yeah.
Good afternoon. I have the pleasure to introduce our first award winner, who is a swimming alumna, and introducing Cicely is a little bit tricky for me because I could go any number of different directions. I asked some of the ladies sitting in the second row here, are her teammates, and I asked them if they had any good stories, and pretty much everything they sent me was not suitable for this occasion. So I'm going to have to skip some of that. Sorry. And then I thought I could just talk about your career, Cicely, and all the countless things that Cicely has done to serve others and make the world a better place. But then I figured you can just read that in your pamphlet, so why would I want to talk about that? So I'm going to skip that as well. So that kind of left me with just some of my own memories of Cicely. So I was a senior on the team the first year that she swam on the team. And I say the team because in swimming, back then swimming and diving, we're all one, men and women. We really swim together. And so I was just reflecting on some things that I remember about her as a teammate. And what I remember is that on Thursday nights she would come over to our apartment. I lived off Jamestown Road, and we would watch. So reality TV at that time was in its infancy, of course, but she was ahead of her time. Big fan of The Real World on MTV. So we watched it every Thursday. Was it Thursday? Every Thursday night. And we also knew that she was a big fan of the little powdered Tasty Cake donuts. So we'd have a bag of Tasty Cakes and we'd watch The Real World every Thursday night. And that became tradition in our apartment. Sis would come over and it was great. And it was her first year on the team, and it was all senior guys living in this apartment, but she didn't care. She came over and brought the Tasty Cakes and we watched The Real World. Good times. And then I just kind of got thinking about this event, and I just think this celebration of women's athletics is a great event. I was here for the first one and been here for most of them, and what this is really all about. And I wanted to just express that it's not. I can't tell you much about Cicely the swimmer. I mean, because I don't even remember what she swam. And she's not receiving this award today because of her swimming accomplishments. But swimming played a big role and William and Mary and this athletic program played a big role in her becoming who she is today. And I think she, as I reflect on her time with me as her teammate, I just think she's the consummate team-first individual. Always putting the needs of others ahead of herself, always there with a smile. I don't think I've ever been around Cicely and she's not been smiling. Always laughing, always just enjoying every minute of life, and she certainly enjoyed every minute here on the team. And they say as you get older, you don't really remember specific games or who scored the winning goal or anybody's time in any given event, but you remember the people and you remember the times that you had together. And I guess that's why I don't remember what Cicely swam. But I do remember her friendship, and it lasts still to this day. And I think it's worth noting that, if you haven't met her yet, not only is she a very, very strong woman, but a woman of color competing in a sport where you don't see that very often is something that I think is worth mentioning here today. So it's my honor and my privilege to introduce our One Tribe Award winner, Cicely Wolters Lewis.
All right. So That was my moment. I was never seated first, so never got walkout music. So here's my time. So first and foremost, I want to take this opportunity and just say thank you to the College of William and Mary, the outstanding athletics program, and my captain turned coach, Matt Crispino, for nominating me for this incredible honor. So swimming always has and continues to be something that I really love and cherish in a special way. I love the freedom of just floating in the water. I love the ability to just propel myself in any direction, just using my legs. And as hard as it is to believe, because I am so chatty, I love the silence. I love the solitude. It's just you and your thoughts staring at that black line at the bottom of the pool. And you would think the way that I talk about swimming that perhaps I was fast, but let me be clear, as Matt said, I was a non-recruited walk-on to a team I felt like I did not have very much business being a part of. And I fought and I clawed every single day to feel worthy of the title that I think some of us take for granted, and that's collegiate athlete. I think that there's some larger lessons to be learned from every sport that we participate in, and these range from voyages of self-discovery to the bonds being forged through the endurance of something really traumatic with a group of people that share that similar experience. Speaking of traumatic experiences, a quick story. So, these girls will know. So we had a winter training trip to Florida where the air temperature hovered around 36 degrees and the heaters in the pool broke. As I mentioned before, there's nothing that bonds a group of people together, kind of like shared pain and suffering. And I actually still get, and perhaps you will too, a physical reaction each time I hear this specific song, because it would magically come on every morning around 5:47 a.m. as we were just shivering in our parkas, trying to stretch and loosen up. You guys remember this? Every morning. Do y'all know this song? Outkast? Yes, I see some nods. Coaches, please feel free to add some Outkast to your playlists. They are phenomenal for pump-up songs. I digress. So it's the lifelong skills and personal growth that come from team sports, which I think are the cornerstone of what athletes bring to every environment that they inhabit outside of the pool, off the court, or field. And it's recognizing what you have and how you can share those gifts that make athletes uniquely positioned to be both agents of change and truly dynamic leaders. I joined the Peace Corps in 2004 and was assigned to serve for 27 months in the mountains of Nicaragua. And kind of think back to when you first joined your team or when you first met your coach. Maybe it felt something like this.
Don't know if I'm elated or gassy, but I'm somewhere in that zone.
That's from Frozen, for the first time in forever. I have small children. Imagine that feeling compounded by the fact that you barely speak the language and are placed in front of a group of high school students trying to kind of eloquently and diplomatically discuss the inevitable bodily changes associated with puberty. That's hard enough to do in English. It was agonizing, but it's what I signed up for. And I think one of the greatest gifts that sports gives back to the athletes is that it stretches you, it challenges you, it makes you wildly uncomfortable. And it's in those moments where we can really grow and stretch and learn about ourselves. I joined the Peace Corps not to save the world. I had far more selfish aspirations, but I did want to challenge myself in an incredible way and kind of face it head on, not unlike what all of you guys do every day in practice and in competition, and to come out on the other side kind of more knowledgeable about myself and how much I could withstand and cope. I think athletes bring a self-awareness to their lives, the ability to be wildly flexible in changing environments, a subconscious understanding of when to take initiative and when to step back and play a supporting role, and the value that comes from surrounding yourself with people that really bring out the best in you. And clearly this is to say nothing of the inherent commitment, undeniable work ethic, determination that comes from elite level competition, all the while juggling what it is to be a William and Mary college student. You have to fight and you have to dig deep to accomplish your goals. It also teaches you, at least in my life it has, that there are fewer things more powerful than a good pump-up jam or playlist to make you feel truly invincible and unstoppable, hence the Outcast. It is truly impressive and easy to see all of the ways that student athletes stand out and position themselves to be great leaders once they leave school. However, soapbox moment, which Matt alluded to, people first need to be given the opportunity. The world of swimming is perhaps one of the least diverse worlds out there. The sport is wildly expensive, and 70% of African American children and almost 60% of Hispanic children have low to no swimmability whatsoever compared to counterparts. So you step onto a tennis court with no skills, cool, that's fine. You might hurt yourself or somebody else with some wayward balls, but you step into a pool with no skills, it might be the last thing you do. And that fear keeps thousands of people, young and old, from pursuing the lifelong love that is swimming, and that in and of itself is tragic and should definitely be changed. I'm looking around for John Sauer, and I don't see him, but yes! Just ask John Sauer. Little known fact, but one of my proudest moments as a tribe athlete was teaching our revered and at the time super scary strength training sensei how to swim a lap across the pool. Yeah. So get out there and engage with your local community. People need to see themselves in you, and who better to motivate than somebody whose job it is to motivate both themselves and their teammates every single day. You know, a TED Talk won't teach you how to swim. A YouTube video can't give you feedback on your dribble or your speed work. That can only come from getting out there and directly learning from and interacting with people. So please get involved in supporting diverse access to the sports that you've benefited so much from, and create positive outcomes in both your life and the life of others. My story is not necessarily special or unique. Service to my community, a love of personal interaction, and a wanderlust for integrating into new cultures has led me to make a career out of doing what I enjoy. So kind of all of these ramblings kind of boil down to three key messages. In the words of the young people today, stay woke, which translates to pay attention. Pay attention to what comes naturally to you as an athlete and see how relevant those skills are outside of the world of sports. Take opportunities that you're given as an athlete and use them for both personal and professional gain, but share them with those who may not have and desperately need a dose of seeing the world's possibilities through your eyes. And finally, whatever life throws your way, never underestimate the power of a song that slays. Go Tribe.